Sometimes nature surprises you in unexpected ways.
Whoa! Check this dude out!
You'd think you know an animal, but then you can't recognize it. Almost as if evolution is defying convention. And today, we're exploring some of the creatures so shocking, you'd have a hard time believing they're real. In 2011, a local news channel in Vientiane, Laos reported the existence of an eerie creature. It is strange that the creature wasn't reported much before this. It was a four-legged snake. And it was caged by someone too. The creature attracted a lot of visitors too. Zoologists say that snakes used to have legs in the past too. Looks like this creature is a window into the past. Or maybe a snake gave birth to an offspring that had developed some sort of mutation that took it centuries back. Lucky charm. Looks like this snake didn't know snakes aren't supposed to have legs, and grew out two anyways, but considering it is missing the other two legs, it can't be a lizard, and the body is not distinct from the tail either. But don't blame me if I don't know which kind of a creature this is, as even zoologists have been scratching their heads over it ever since its video was uploaded in 2022, but the Indian lady who found it kept it preserved for some time, considering the anomaly as a lucky charm. Without incident. If you didn't know Jay, he is owner of the Reptile Zoo in Fountain Valley, California. Lizards, alligators, pythons are just a few of the reptiles that he owns, but looks like he has added a weird creature to his collection. 2 years ago when he uploaded this video, he was struggling with something in his pond. And when he took it out, it was an ugly looking creature. It was an alligator snapping turtle, and its bite has a force of 1,000 psi. For comparison, polar bears have a bite force of 1,200 pounds per square inch, and we know what that can do to a human being. Be careful, Jay. Reptile lovers end up in hospitals more than usual.
Check this dude out! That's a snapping turtle, alligator snapping turtle!
Splendid crown. We get it, Your Majesty. We know you are the king of snakes. You don't need to wear a crown to prove it, as was worn by this king in India, found in 2024 by a resident in a rural area. This king cobra had white hair like a crown on the top of its head. Looks like evolution has taken its course, and the kings of cobras decided to sprout a crown on their heads now. To be fair, this should have happened earlier, so we'd have an easy way of setting king cobras apart. Scython. At first I thought it was python, but why does it have horns? And that too of a deer. But to have the face of a cow is stretching the weirdness even further. It was found in an Indonesian lake by a couple of friends. Soon after their whole village was standing on the shores, the cow deer python kept swimming around in the lake with a full belly, without a care in the world. However, the python plunged into the depths of the lake when the villagers tried to capture it, and was gone to never be seen again. Thelma and Louise. Now this is what you call a true mutation. On June 18th, 2013, San Antonio Zoo welcomed a pleasantly green turtle to their reptile collection. The only twist was that it had two heads, a condition that is known as polycephaly. The zookeepers named them Thelma and Louise. The turtle was healthy and able to eat, walk, and swim normally. The zoo doctors didn't foresee any medical issues for Thelma and Louise. However, due to unknown reasons, the pair passed away on July 29th, 2014. But the zookeepers will always remember them. Twin hearts. In 2018, a snake breeder in Florida got a 2-for-1 deal with the latest offspring of his pet boa constrictor. The 2-week-old snake was born with two distinct heads. When the snake, or snakes, was brought to celebrity vet Dr. Susan Kelleher, who owns an exotic animal care practice in southern Florida, the snake revealed an even rarer twist in its anatomy. Unlike other two-headed animals that tend to share internal organs, this snake had two hearts. While two-headed snakes weren't unheard of, it was the first time a two-headed snake with two hearts was discovered. The Brachiosaurus.
Oh, malambot.
Did the chicken come first or the egg? Well, we have a similar kind of a dilemma here. In 2023, residents of Tanza Town in Philippines found a curious creature on the outskirts of the town. It was a snake with 4 legs attached to it. But wait, what if it was a lizard that had an elongated neck and tail? The mutant reptile resembled a Brachiosaurus with its long neck and short legs. It was found only because it charged at a security guard on the boundary of the town, and the guard swatted it. Or else, who knows, we might have seen a fully grown Brachiosaurus soon.
Ano yan? Tawag dito?
Mythical monster. In September 2024, sailors in the North Sea captured a scary-looking monster snake off the coast of Denmark. It wasn't just any snake, they needed a crane to lift it, and it had a huge set of sharp teeth. Netizens were divided about the reality of this one. Some said it was the Jormungandr, a mythical snake in Norse mythology that encircles the seas of the whole world, but compared to that, it was too small. Others said it was AI, but it is too real to be considered CGI. Eerily enough, no one has been able to identify the crew and the ship either. They simply seem to have vanished from all records. Something sinister definitely happened here. Spirit snake. A trail cam in an Indonesian jungle caught this. And don't even ask me which species this is. It is a python alright, but why does it have horns? Its pristine white color made it unique anyways, and gave it a majestic look. It felt as if it was some kind of royalty in the snake's community. In Buddhist mythology, there is a white snake that saved the Buddha from an incoming storm while he was in meditation. Maybe it was this snake. Alien snake. With a face like an alien, the pattern on its body like a checkerboard, and movements like a robot, this snake surely looks like it is from another planet. That is exactly what this tourist thought too when he uploaded this video on social media. But guess what? It is just Bitis gabonica, or the Gaboon viper from Africa. Don't underestimate this snake because it moves so slowly. It is one of the most venomous snakes on the planet. So if you ever cross paths with this snake, make sure you travel as fast away from it as it is slow. Old saying. In Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Pakistan, whose resident uploaded this video, there is a saying that there are 3 things that don't exist in the world: a fig's flowers, a bird's milk, and a snake's legs. But this resident observed that the snake has given birth to legs, as was evident from this video. However, the uploader was soon flooded with comments from his country's netizens. It was just a lizard they informed him about. Or at least that's what they thought. It could be anything, really. Lizardy snake. Have you ever seen anything like this? At first it seems it has 2 limbs only, but when you look closely, it actually has 4. If it is a lizard, it is too long for that. If it is a snake, it shouldn't have limbs. And the front portion of its body gives the impression of a dragon too. It wasn't even afraid of the person who was recording it. And the user who uploaded the video added that it slithered like a snake while moving. It is tough to tell where the lizard ends and the snake begins. Horned snake. You heard that right. It is a snake with horns. It was spotted by a camper in a jungle. The creature was slithering on the forest floor like a snake, but it was too short to be a snake too, and it had horns to boot. What even was this? Netizens scratched their heads over the identity of this creature as well, and no biologist knew of any such type of creature either. Could it be that some forms of snakes have evolved to grow horns, and that we are only coming to know about them now? But the mysterious part is, why would a snake evolve like this? Sorry folks, but I have no answers for this one. Not crocodile.
I swear to God, this fish better not me now. Look at them teeth.
9 years ago, a boy found the skeleton of a bizarre creature near Hollingworth Lake, England. You'd only wish it was a crocodile, because it was only 2 feet long. Now its head was a foot and its tail was a foot too. You could say it was a giant tadpole that had somehow morphed into this monstrous entity. But what even was it? Netizens had no clue. Even the local news channel ran a report on this video, and no expert stepped forward to offer a plausible identity of this creature. It was just an unknown monster we are happy to not cross paths with when it was alive.
He's humongous! Check that gob out on that!
Cute deerish. Now you could say it was a deer with baby antlers, but hold on a second. The rest of its body seems to be from a science fiction story, with its hoofless 2 legs and the torso of a fish. This creature was found by an anonymous woman in a Wyoming pond, or at least that's what she said when she uploaded this clip on social media. Who knows, she didn't find either, but actually created it in a lab. Nevertheless, I will give it a 9 out of 10 for weirdness. The rescued gator. Neither me or anyone else at Gatorland has any idea how this happened, but in August 2023, a visitor to Gatorland photographed a baby alligator with its upper jaw missing. When she reported to the theme park's managers, a trapper from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission rescued the gator. Since then, it has been in the care of Gatorland's veterinary doctors. From the suggestions given by netizens, the gator was named Jolene, inspired by the song Jolene. She is faring well and receives regular vitamins and medicines from the medical team. Siamese snapping turtle. In 2023, a chef in Hawaii went to shop for a turtle. He bought 2 for the price of 1, but these 2 were in the same shell, had 2 tails, 2 heads, and 6 legs between them. Looked like they were not in harmony, as one wanted to go this way and the other wanted to go the other. Apparently, 2-headed turtles aren't uncommon. They don't face any medical complications and live a normal span of life too. Ghost bird. While touring a South American country, an Australian citizen discovered a scary-looking creature. Perched on the top of a column, this bird looked like it had come straight from the afterlife. It looked like a Pokemon mixed with an owl, and its eyes looked sharp like a snake, but netizens knew what it was when the tourist uploaded the video on social media. It was a great potoo from Central America. It is a nocturnal bird like the owl, and appears rarely during daytime, and that is why the tourist was freaked out when he saw this. Zombie bird.
The jam also continues to its pride, and traffic is slow moving.
In 2023, citizens in Singapore witnessed a bizarre sight on one of their roads. A bird with 1 wing was floating just above their heads at snail speed. What made the sight even scarier was that it wasn't even flapping its solitary wing. Citizens cried in terror looking at this sight. They called the police, who called the fire services department to pull the bird down. However, due to some mysterious reasons, the bird would always evade anything thrown at it. Netizens had no idea about this phenomenon, neither do we. False discovery. Back in 2022, a tourist thought he had found an alien in an African pond. He promptly took out his camera and began recording, as daydreams of awards and accolades crossed his mind for this astounding discovery. The alien shifted, opened its wings, and revealed its head. And lo, it was just a bird, a black egret to be precise. This bird makes a canopy from its wings in order to hunt fish. The wings obstruct sunlight and allows the egret to clearly see the fish and crabs that it disturbs with its feet. Red sand boa. In 2022, an excited Indian social media user uploaded a video of what he thought was a weird snake. It had 2 mouths, one where it should be, and the other at the end of its tails. However, he was corrected by netizens instantly. It was a red sand boa whose tail looks like a mouth, and it is one of the saddest snakes in existence. And you'll know soon why. It is a non-venomous snake, and in its natural environment, it actually helps farmers by hunting down crop-eating rodents. However, people think the snake has superstitious powers, and because of that, this snake has a very high price in the market, making it an endangered species. Monkey-pandas. Now these seem to be just some sort of dogs, but no. They are hanging with a tree like monkeys, but no. They have got fur like pandas, but no. They are making noises like oversized birds. Now I am at my wit's end trying to find out what these are, and Google isn't helping either. Maybe I will need to go and meet some zoologists about these. I wouldn't just call them mutated animals because they do look natural, but if you have any idea what these are, I will be happy to hear from you. Noodle monsters. Creepy, eerie, and unexplainable. A man on an Australian dock discovered something unique and fantastical. They looked like noodle-like worms swimming in the sea and seemed to be moving in a geometrical zigzag fashion. But the amazing part was that as soon as the man touched them with a stick, they turned into powder. And it wasn't a one-off incident either. The man tried it again and again on multiple worms, and the result was the same. The worms were turning into powder at the slightest touch. Someone please explain what they were? Are these new tiny types of worms that we don't know of yet? Leaves you wondering about the truth. Wells catfish. In 2021, a man driving in Peru caught sight of a mysterious creature. A tractor was hoisting it and carrying it away. The driver had no idea what it was, so he uploaded the video on social media for clues. And there the experts discussed what it was. Some joked it was the huge snake from the Tremors movies, but others dubbed the opinion ridiculous. Finally, a netizen pointed out that it was a Wells catfish. These creatures can grow as long as 10 feet long, which might explain why people initially freaked out about this. Mystery skull. Six years ago, two residents in New Zealand found an incredible creature in their backyard. One fine morning when they were taking a walk with their dog sniffed it out. It was the skull of a mysterious being. Its size and structure was similar to that of a fish, but it had canine teeth. Have you ever heard of a fish with the teeth of a dog? Neither have I. But sadly, we won't get much more from this, as the friends concluded that it was just something mysterious and left it there. Inexplicable spikes. Now this is something so unusual and weird, you'd want to chuck your phone at the wall in shock. A man in California found this terrifying monster in a jungle. What even was this? Only the eyes looked similar to that of an eagle. The rest of it was just too horrendous to explain. Its tongue was its creepiest feature. What even were those spiky things on its tongue? I don't even want to know, and I am sure neither do you. So let's move on. Conjoined lizards. 2024 witnessed the appearance of weird creatures on the internet, and this was one of them. It was a baby lizard with 4 eyes. Unfortunately, the video was uploaded by an anonymous user, so we can't go and check it. But some netizens who saw the video thought it was a result of animal testing of some kind. However, others said it was a natural mutation. But then there was another user who pointed out these were basically conjoined twins, and that it was a birth defect, and such natural mutations are more frequent in animals compared to human beings. So I guess we can't blame anyone for this. Light it up. Light it up, guys, and get some music on, because this gecko wants to party. While crawling on the wall in a home in Spain, this gecko charged up somehow, and its tail lit up every time it flicked it. Now there must be some scientific explanation for this, but netizens had none at all. The video has made a lot of progress and has been shared on various social media platforms now, but even after getting so many views, no one has any explanation for this, unless it was genetically engineered. However, the gecko doesn't look like it's in any kind of discomfort, so who are we to complain? Let's just enjoy this amazing sight. Pistol fish. So this guy in England went fishing to the sea. When he reeled in his hook, he found a horse-like fish in it. And no, this wasn't a seahorse. This was a long-beaked horse with the body of a fish. Even looked like a vintage pistol from old cowboy movies. How did even this come into being? If natural selection made this, then I don't know. Seems like a forced mutation because of global warming or water contamination. Chicken Little.
She's like, what the?
When scientists speak about increasing the amount of meat in a chicken, this isn't what they mean. A Michigan family woke up to a surprising scene in their backyard in 2020. One of their chickens had sprouted human arms overnight. Even the dogs and the other chicken went into a frenzy seeing this astounding spectacle. They all tried to help the affected chicken, but it was the most shocked of the lot and was running helter-skelter in terror itself. If I have to hazard a guess, I will say the doctor mixed up some medicines when this chicken visited him last time.
I can't.
Stunted growth. A group of tourists to a Florida swamp were stunned when they spotted this weird creature. I thought it was an alligator at first too, but its face is different. It had a short snout, and it doesn't really move like an alligator. But maybe that's because its front legs are messed up. Maybe it was mutated from birth, and that's why its snout was shorter as well as the legs in the front were just stumps. However, it seemed adept at utilizing whatever it had, and was able to skid on the mud and swim in the pond as any normal alligator. English powder. With legs like a penguin and chest like a lion, this isn't your ordinary pigeon. It isn't a naturally occurring pigeon. It didn't even exist before 1735, but was created over years through selective breeding. It is thought to have originated from a cross between a horseman pouter and a Dutch cropper. While walking, it can't see its legs, and that is why it walks with its odd gait. But these are considered extremely valuable. They are kept as ornamental or fancy breeds, and are valued for their unusual appearance. Reborn dragons. There is a theory that states that human beings and dragons coexisted in a time in history, and it looks like this prehistoric animal is emerging again. In 2022, an anonymous source uploaded this video of a baby dragon on social media. The baby was out for its first flight. Netizens were divided over the authenticity of this clip. Some called it CGI. But hey, if it was CGI, wouldn't they have directed the dragon into the sky? And the baby actually flew towards the ground as all normal flying baby creatures would. Leopard seal. While out at a beach in New Zealand, a man found a spooky animal lying in the sand. He thought that the animal had passed out and needed help, but when he got near, the creature lifted its head. Netizens identified the creature as a leopard seal, and be warned, these animals aren't that friendly to human beings. These are known to be solitary creatures and move alone too. They are also native to Antarctica, which means that this particular seal was far, far away from home and looks sad about it too. Possible goatman. In 2024, residents of a Mexican village witnessed a terrifying sight. A dark-colored goat that had no business walking on its hind legs was doing the exact thing. But netizens had other ideas when they saw this. They speculated it could be the goatman. The goatman is a creature that features in various urban legends and folklore in different parts of the world, especially in the United States. According to legend, the goatman was a scientist or an old farmer who conducted experiments that went awry, resulting in a fusion of man and goat. Ganesha's escape. In October 2023, residents of a remote village in Thailand sighted a strange creature. It had the torso of a human being, but the head of an elephant. In Hindu mythology, the god Ganesha is known to have the head of an elephant and the body of a male human. However, netizens were not impressed with the theory. They blamed genetic experimentation on the existence of this creature. Whatever the case may be, the villagers probably had a hard time sleeping after a discovery like this, especially when they realized it had escaped. Faced fish. In 2024, a fisherman in Miami found this strange creature in his hook. It had the body of a regular fish, but the face of a human. It had no eyebrows or hair, but the face was there. Now I can't say that it was some sort of natural mutation or crossbreeding, as that would be ridiculous. This was surely the result of a scientific experiment. Some mad scientist somewhere thought it would be funny to do this, but it surely isn't. Ghost fly. Now this has to be weirder than any alien or mutated animal that you have ever seen. A wildlife photographer discovered a bizarre scene in a park. A fly was walking in the grass, except that it had no body. It was just an empty shell like a husk, and it was still marching on to an unknown destination. Netizens wondered if it was being controlled by a ghost, or a mysterious spirit force was egging it on, but no one had any explanation for this fly's spooky action. Birdie fish. When a fisherman in China reeled in his hook, he wasn't expecting to catch a bird, but then it only had the head of a bird. The rest of its body was a fish. Now this is some top-of-line mutation, and it makes no sense at all. If a fish was to mutate, it could have become a crab or a seahorse even, but to grow the head of a bird is totally inexplicable. I seriously can't get my head around this one. The Jibafofi. While camping in Papua New Guinea, a camper captured sight of this freaky creature. It was a spider, all right, but it was as big as a dog. In the folklore of Papua New Guinea, there are tales of the Jibafofi, a cryptid spider as large as a dinner plate and with a leg span reaching up to 5 feet. These creatures are said to spin webs strong enough to trap small animals and occasionally unlucky humans. The local Baka people believe that these spiders are ancient beings, guardians of the underworld, and encounters with them are seen as ominous signs. Alien art. 6 years ago, a visitor to a beach in Byron Bay, Australia stumbled upon a strange creature. It was the head of a horse with teeth like a walrus, but had the body of a small fish. What even was this? When the video was uploaded on social media, it took the internet by storm, but the majority agreed on 2 things. One, that it was definitely not fake, and 2, they didn't know what it was. But one netizen did have a fascinating theory. He called it the result of experimentations by aliens on worldly creatures. And it makes sense, as only aliens would be capable of making such a creature. Indian Naga. When a tourist was exploring an Indian forest to see king cobras in 2024, this isn't the snake that it was on his mind. The creature was lying on the forest floor at a safe distance. It had the body of a huge serpent and the torso of a long-haired woman. It was probably chanting a hymn or a magical spell, but the tourist knew better than to confirm which. The creature was most probably the Naga. It is an Indian creature from myth and is known to guard treasures. Who knows, there just might be a collection of gold in the jungle that the tourist escaped from before the Naga could spot him. Monstrous Anonymous. While driving down a road in California, 2 friends found an inexplicable creature in a puddle of mud. These images aren't for the faint-hearted. The creature had 2 front legs and many smaller hind legs. It looked pinkish, as if it had no usual skin. Eerily enough, it had a stamp on it too, as if it was being raised by someone in numbers. It had a weird and scary mouth. I can't say fortunately or unfortunately, but the creature had passed away. Who in their right mind would want to create such a creature, and why? There are more questions here than answers, and I can't get my head around it. Open discussion. If an alligator and a python were to cross paths, who do you think would win? Apparently the python will. In this fascinating clip recorded by a documentary producer 11 years ago, a python was seen feasting on an alligator. The python's skin was so stretchable that it had no problems even while swallowing the sharp scales of the alligator. This was an incredible feat. The python swallowed a whole alligator half as large as itself, and it will take a few days to digest it, in which time the python will find a safe location and snooze.